They all been just waste teams, man. It's just all waste men playing for these teams, it seems. Norwich has tried. Knocked off. 4-1 loss. Southampton try hard. Knocked off. 2-1 loss. Let's not even start with Arsenal. They tried. 3-1 loss. Burnley knocked off. 3-0 loss. Newcastle, they tried. 3-1 loss. Chelsea brought the heat and they still lost 2-1. And out of all the teams that has faced Liverpool this season, Sheffield United has put up the best fight and they still lost. 7 wins in 7 games, 21 points on top the table, 16 wins on the trot. They play Leicester at home and then they play Man United at Old Trafford. And if they win both games, they will equal City's record for the most consecutive Premier League wins, which is 18. And the way these other Premier League teams have been playing, guys, they're on course to do just so. But from what I've seen, Liverpool are showing hints that they are about to drop points. Is it going to happen against Leicester City? Or is it going to happen against Man United? Or will we see it happen against Tottenham Hotspur? Or will we see it happen against Aston Villa? Those are Liverpool's next 4 Premier League fixtures before they play Manchester City on November 9th. They were the last team to defeat Liverpool in the English Premier League. That's the significance of the date, November 9th. Guys, put it in your calendar. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna basically be the game of the season. But let's not jump the gun and talk about that just yet. Sheffield had came into that game with a very decent record so far this season, picking up 8 points from their first 6 matches. 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. Not a bad start at all, but what's worrying for Sheffield is their home record. They haven't been playing well at home at all. They have been quite impressive on the road, picking up a win in their last fixture against Everton. That was a 2-0 win, keeping a clean sheet. So Liverpool knew that Sheffield wasn't a pushover. They knew this. But what frustrated me the most watching this game as a Manchester City fan is the fact that Sheffield were doing so well. And I knew the pressure would become a bit too much for them and they would eventually break. And they did so. In the second half, around the 70th minute, a silly schoolboy, you could even say a preschool error by Dean Henderson, who's currently there known from Manchester United. And as a Manchester United player, he should know the importance of picking up a result against freaking Liverpool. Schoolboy error with that goalkeeping blunder. Come on, man. You had to implement the cricket fielding drill, the long barrier. Just go down and if it missed your hands, it hit you right there on the side of your leg and everything would have been good. But you got to go in like a schoolboy with your hands open and your legs open wide and the ball went through both of them, went over the line. Liverpool scored the only goal of the game. But it was a good shot by Wijnaldum though. Don't get me wrong, it was a brilliant shot. It packed a lot of power and if he didn't hit it that well, it wouldn't have gone through his leg. So I gotta give props to Gini Wijnaldum picking up that big goal, his first one since he scored those 2 against Barcelona at Anfield in the Champions League. So the man, he pops up when Liverpool needs him the most and they definitely did need him today. That was actually Liverpool's first shot on target, guys. Could you believe that? That's how well Sheffield was managing this game. Liverpool started out the game with most of the possession but didn't really test Sheffield too much. Whenever they had the ball, Sheffield were trying to exploit the space left vacant by Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson. And they did get him behind on quite a few occasions and Adrian was definitely the busier of the 2 goalkeepers. It was quite obvious that Liverpool were going to get most of the possession in this game, but whenever Sheffield won the ball back, they counter-attacked well, and whenever Liverpool came forward, they got numbers behind the ball. 40 minutes had already played in the game and I was saying to myself, this has been the best performance by an opposition team against Liverpool so far this season. I actually couldn't believe that the game was still 0-0 at halftime with Sadio Mane screwing up those 2 big chances. But this was actually the first time this season that Liverpool weren't leading the game at halftime. So Sheffield, you did a great job, but you just couldn't concentrate for long enough. The second half came, Liverpool had a penalty shot when Sadio Mane was taken down in the box and it wasn't given. I think that was definitely a penalty. It should have been given, but What is VAR there for if it's not going to review those things? You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that passed, and Sheffield, they were lucky there. Henderson went off, on came Origi, and then the whole game changed. Just after the 1 hour mark, Sheffield had a really nice period in the game where they got in behind the Liverpool defense on quite a few occasions and even forced a big block out of Robertson. And believe it, guys, I was hoping that Sheffield could score a goal, but it would be Jurgen Klopp's men to score the opening goal that I was babbling about earlier, with Gini Wijnaldum smashing the ball through the legs of Dean Henderson. Henderson, I wish I could fly over to England right now and smack you in the back of the head, because that was so... Come on! You could have picked up a point against Liverpool. Like, come on, man. It really got me super frustrated today. So frustrated. Like, you have Liverpool pegged down and you let him loose. Dean Henderson did make amends a few minutes later when he pulled off a big save against Mohamed Salah in a 1v1 situation. But that was too late. That was too late because Sheffield couldn't score. They got in behind on a few occasions and couldn't score. That's the problem here. These teams are not taking the chances when they present themselves. They're not clinical enough. And it would only take clinical strikers to beat this Liverpool team. And none of these teams that they have played so far this season has been clinical against Liverpool. Norwich, Arsenal, Newcastle, Burnley, Chelsea, Sheffield, and Southampton. They all been just waste teams, man. It's just all waste men playing for these teams, it seems. Because they get the chance. They get the chances, and none of them could put them past Adrian. I thought Liverpool were going to drop a whole lot of points with Alisson out injured, and it's not the case. So you mean to tell me, all you other Premier League teams, that you're not going to take advantage of Alisson not being in goal? Like, you got to be kidding me. But all in all, it was a brave performance by Sheffield though. They kept Firmino, Salah, and Mane all scoreless, and this hasn't happened in quite a while. Like guys, we know this. They managed to get 12 shots off at goal with 2 on target. Liverpool only got their first shot on target in the 70th minute when Gini Wijnaldum scored. And even though Sheffield only had 29% of the ball, they kept Robertson, Matip, Van Dijk, Fabinho, and Trent Alexander-Arnold busy for the entire game. And no Premier League team has done such a thing so far this season. So a big round of applause to Sheffield despite them not picking up any points. You still, walk away with your heads up high. But all in all, I think it was not the best performance by Liverpool, but they still managed to grind out the 3 points, and that's the most important thing. That's what Klopp would care about the most. That's what the players would care about the most, and the fans. So they picked up the 3 point despite not being at their best versus this well-drilled Sheffield United team under the tutelage of Chris Wilder. So hats off to Sheffield, man. Another round of applause. Y'all played well. Y'all played well. You kept the Liverpool fans on the edge of their seats. So Sheffield play Watford in their next game, while for Liverpool, they play Leicester City on their quest to win 8 in a row. So guys, that's my thoughts on the game. If you're new around here, consider hitting the subscribe button, smash the thumbs up button, and let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think this is Liverpool's year to win the English Premier League? So until next time, from your boy Dominic Rich, peace out. Rich Squad. Norwich has tried. Knocked off. 4-1 loss. Southampton try hard. Knocked off. 2-1 loss. Let's not even start with Arsenal. They tried. 3-1 loss. Burnley knocked off. 3-0 loss. Newcastle, they tried. 3-1 loss. Newcastle, they tried. 3-0 loss. Newcastle, they tried. 3-1 loss. Chelsea brought the heat, still lost 2-1. Chelsea brought the heat and they still lost 2-1.